So Jeff, tell us about your background before you were hired by the town of Dobson as manager.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Was finishing up school at Appalachian State University, did my undergrad there and my Master's of Public Administration. I moved from there about 2020 down to Cleveland County, North Carolina. So I've been with the county manager's office down there for the last 2.5 years. And got into that program through the ICMA Fellowship, which is an International City Management Association, and was placed in Cleveland County. And so I've been down there for the last 3 years, previously as the management analyst to the county manager, and then in November of last year was the strategic initiative manager, overseeing various projects throughout the county.
Okay, that's awesome. Will you tell us a little bit about what strategic initiatives entail for our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. So the strategic initiatives was through a project. Our manager, Brian Eppley, he was a big proponent of long-term strategic planning, and this is a little bit of a niche role. He worked with the ICMA to recruit people just out of school to work with him and kind of lead these various initiatives. Really, if you look at strategic planning, you're defining success by knowing where everyone's going. And so looking at the long-term vision of this, you can define your success by saying, here are the objectives we want to achieve. A few of those projects, one was a public safety strategic plan, so looking at the various aspects of public safety in Cleveland County. And when I was leaving Cleveland County, we were working through an information technology strategic plan.
That's great. We have someone in Dobson who has an eye for long-term success. That's great to hear. So Jeff, coming to the town of Dobson, what attracted you here?
Absolutely. So Dobson's a really great place. I actually got my interest for local government right down the road at Surrey Community College.
Okay.
Had a class with intro to law, and kind of talked about the various aspects of how government is involved. Had the intention of going to school to be a lawyer. You see a price tag for law school, though. It's a little bit challenging to see. So I changed my career path and got into local government management. And so driving through the town every day, it's always great to see. Dobson is, again, close to home. I'm originally from King, North Carolina. So it's good to get back in the area. As much as I enjoyed Shelby and Cleveland County, it was good to get back a little closer to home.
We have a new town manager, and we have an opportunity to let the town people meet him, come in and speak with him, and voice their concerns, and learn a little more about how things work here at the town. Jeff has some great ideas. We had a lot of candidates, a lot of capable candidates when we started searching for a new town manager. And I think we were lucky to get Jeff. He seems to know a lot about what's going on. We're all in agreement that our infrastructure is important, to us. Some new ideas with promoting the Greenway. We're going to be putting an SRO officer in the elementary school. So there's a lot of things going on in the town, and the people should be involved and need to know about it.
That's great. So tell us what your goal, your visions are for Dobson, what the Board of Town Commissioners have discussed with you. Mm-hmm. What can you share with the viewers?
Absolutely. So my role as manager is to really implement the vision of the board. This board is working towards long-term planning. Through the interview process and through initial discussions, we've had a lot of long-term planning, understanding what that looks like for the town, specifically in regards to infrastructure. It's the stuff you don't see every day, but looking through water and sewer infrastructure, there's a lot of opportunities for expansion, and really through that allows for community development. So you kind of work from internal to external, and saying that you start with the infrastructure, you're building upon infrastructure development, then to community development, and then that long-term planning of how do you shape the look and feel of the town. So,
okay. Jeff, tell us some of the specific details about the infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the biggest things is updating infrastructure. Really what that entails is right now we're working through a process of updating our sewer, of understanding getting that online and electronic. So we do daily monitoring with that, transferring that to an electronic version so we can keep real-time aspects of it. That's one of the biggest components that will allow us to free up some staff time to look at other areas of improvement. Really the biggest piece is sewer. That's kind of the stuff that infrastructure is always kind of stuff you really think about until it goes wrong. You don't really think about it until it goes wrong. It's a set it and forget it. And that's the thing is that it's always there. It's stuff that we always keep in the back of our mind as we could look forward to long-term planning. So we try to be constantly evolving and try to find ways to update that and keep that to where we have real-time information on it.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is with going fully electronic with the meter reading, you're going to have some staff shift over to some other responsibilities because they're freed up from that. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's one of those things where if you don't, the process is managing us right now. So it's more of a reactive approach to saying, if there's something wrong, we got to fix it now. It's taking a more proactive approach of saying that, okay, this looks like we need to keep an eye on it. Here's how we can go ahead and be planning for it.
So you and your staff will be able to see problems before they happen better.
If we could see that, that would solve a lot of problems. But however, we probably won't be able to have that opportunity. Michael, our Public Works Director, and his team, they do a phenomenal job, and they're able to respond to every situation. If we could solve every problem, that'd be great. However, we're just trying to keep a better pulse on it.
Yeah, I understand. You had mentioned to me earlier the miles of street that Dobson owns. I think the viewers would be impressed and surprised to know how many there are. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So the town of Dobson has town-owned streets. We get money through the state through POW bill to keep those streets surfaced, and through the gas tax. What that is we have about 9 miles of street that are town-owned street that is separate from the NCDOT. So West Atkins, 601, those are state-owned streets, but things like South Crutchfield Street is a town-owned street.
Right. Okay. Is there a priority list to address any repaving or projects such as that through the POW bill funds?
There is, and so there's an ongoing list. Michael and the Public Works staff and our streets guys, they keep a running list of what that is. That's something we'll be talking through that prioritization in the upcoming budget process as well.
And can you explain to the public the POW bill funds, where that comes from, how those get allocated?
Yeah, absolutely. So the POW bill is funded through the gas tax, and what that is, it's money sent from the state, an allocation based on your percentage of streets, or your mileage of streets that you own, and so that's a percentage of the gas tax that you receive. So that's used in the paving and resurfacing.
Cool. And recently I saw a large city have some problem with their sewer infrastructure. I won't name the name of that city. But some of the problems occurred from people dumping cooking grease and flushable baby wipes down the tubes. I see you have something, it's a messaging campaign on Facebook called Dobson Does.
Yes, sir.
Will you tell me about that, and will you be instructing the public not to be doing silly stuff like throwing cooking grease down the drains?
Well, we always, maintaining the integrity of our water and wastewater is essential. Whatever gets flushed down the sewer, it has to go somewhere, and that goes into our plant where we have to treat it. For instance, if you flush baby wipes down, that gets caught in our pump stations. That turns into that more reactive approach of where we're having to shift resources to respond to that if we have a clogged pump station or anything like that. And so kind of from that, Dobson Does is more of a emphasis to show a narrative of what the town does, is to educate the public of here's what local government does, and really create and share our narrative, because of similar to Surrey on the Go, if you're not promoting and sharing what you're doing, someone else is going to show that narrative with you. So one of the biggest goals that I have in direction from the board is being more transparent and communicative with the public and trying to engage with members of the community, with community partners, and really kind of spreading and sharing that message.
That's great. So is that primarily going to be on Facebook? Primarily.
We're looking at various other avenues as well. One of our other big pieces is updating the website and creating more of a electronic presence. One thing that we've working on is paperless billing, so trying to get more electronic and more getting in touch with the public that way.
Right. And of course, Tiff, you can always use Surrey on the Go to get some of this info.
Absolutely, it's a great resource to have, so we appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Paperless billing, is that already a thing?
It is, yeah. So we started it in January.
Okay, that's great.
And so residents have the option to sign up online for our paperless billing and email bills.
You hearing positive results?
So far, yeah, we've heard a lot of good results. So.
Good. And tell me about the recent project you've had at the water and sewer plant.
So we've had 2 large projects at the water plant. One of those being the alum sludge. Really what that is the the byproduct as we treat wastewater feeding into an area that we can take to the landfill. It's the dirt and everything else that kind of comes out of that. That was a recent change at the water plant. The other big project that we have is upgrading our pump system at the water station. So the pumps have been operational for last few decades. They had come to the point where we wanted to upgrade those. That has since gone into effect, and we've seen great success with newer technology. We're able to pump more. We're able to pump more water out of the Fisher River, and so that generates a higher, a lot that lessens the burden of how much we're having to pump. So
that's great. I believe you have discussed with me a park or greenway project. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to, we've focused on water and sewer infrastructure, building onto the community development. One of the biggest aspects that you can see in a place is how people engage with the outdoor recreational community. If you look at studies and if you look at how you feel connected to a place is connected on foot. So the more walkable your community is, the better it is to get out and experience that. Dobson has a really great aspect. We have links down to the community college via sidewalks. I try to walk everywhere around downtown as I can. And same thing, it's a very walkable community, so we're trying to leverage that. The board and staff engaged in a process back in 2019 through a comprehensive greenway infrastructure plan. So through the Connect Dobson was the name of the project.
Right.
Really, that project identified 3 phases. One being a free greenway connector between the Central Middle School and Dobson Elementary School. From there, connecting into the downtown corridor around the courthouse, and then out to the community college. Okay. So, and that's kind of your 3 phases. One of the biggest pieces we're looking at right now is how to implement that phase 1, and one thing we'll be talking about in the upcoming budget process.
Okay. Absolutely. Dobson is a very walkable community. There are a lot of sidewalks here to access. On a good weather day like today, you'll see plenty of people out and about. For anyone who's looking for some exercise, how can you promote Dobson to those folks?
So one of the biggest things one of the biggest assets that Dobson has is its centralness within the county. If you see on some of the campaigns, it's the heart of the county. Really, it's the connecting point between all the various aspects. We have great resources at the park. We have a splash pad that gets highly utilized, so kids get out and they get to play in that. You get family engaged by walking in the park, and then you'll see about every day people running up and down Main Street here and back Crutchfield Street to connect to the college, and it's a pretty good little loop. So those are some ways that people are getting active right now. So.
Right. So tell us a little bit more about Dobson Town Park. That is a huge asset.
It is. Yeah, it's a great resource to have. The board leveraging that and kind of building upon that has been great. It's a very central aspect within the community. And going back to what I said earlier, places felt on foot. So the more we get people outside and engaged, we've also been able to leverage that by having events in the park and the amphitheater, through Movies on Main and or not movies on, but Movies in the Park, and we've had various festivals that we try to host in that, and that's a great resource that we have, and engaging with the community.
Right. I know that you have great attendance at the movies on the weekends. You've had several festivals there. Music at the Market takes place at the Dobson Farmers Market. That's bringing some people here. Also, the Ground Steak Festival's coming up this year.
Sure
Are you
is.
excited about that?
I absolutely love ground steak, and it's always good to, like I said, getting back up to Surrey County. I get to have some ground steak every now and again, and the TDA promoting that and kind of leveraging similar to how they've done with the Sonker Trail as well. That partnership with the TDA is great because it brings people here into Dobson and gets people a little bit more aware of what's in the community.
What would you tell the general public about coming to Dobson on the weekend and seeing what's here, stopping at Fisher River Park, the town park, coming out and walking, exercising, getting out on bikes, enjoying restaurants, seeing what Dobson has to offer?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think the more you can leverage people into the county and get people access to those outdoor recreational assets like Fisher River Park, people get out and they get to experience that. They come into Dobson, they get a bite to eat. they get to check out one of the local restaurants, they get to walk around downtown, and they get to see a lot of the history that we have here. Go check out the park. It's really, we try to serve as a destination facility and really kind of leveraging those aspects.
Okay. Any other services or programs Dobson has that you want to discuss, or anything else in general?
Really, the biggest piece is kind of working with the board. We're working through that long-term planning right now, especially as we go into the budget. We have coming in here since January as a new manager. It's been an opportunity to kind of talk about these long-term planning aspects, and those are things that working with the board on building a strategic plan as well. So.
What other services do the town of Dobson offer its citizens?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a full-service municipality. What that entails is we have water, sewer, fire, and police protection. We also contract with Waste Management, who does our garbage collection pickup.
So you have fire protection. Is that a town service?
Yes, sir, it is. So we have Dobson Fire Department.
Okay, that's great. I was really not aware of that. I thought it was all volunteer.
It is all volunteer, but it's a fire department as well. So.
Okay. So Jeff, you're from this area. You saw this position became available. Is there something about this position that really pulls on your heartstrings to the point where you want to give back to the area that really helped you with your education with Surrey Community College, helped you grow as a young man? Is that appealing to you in this position? Does that make you even put more passion into this job?
Absolutely. It's good to get back into an area that helped me so much growing up. Really growing up in the area, I got to come and experience here in Dobson. I also was a part of the Boy Scouts and went to camp at Raven Knob, worked on staff there for 7 years. That really shaped me into the adult I am today, taught me those leadership capabilities, and really through that, getting back into a community that helped me so much, try to get involved in other areas as well to promote the town. And during my time in Cleveland County, very grateful for it. They provided me the professional resources and the opportunity to just come back and help leverage the wonderful assets that we have here in Dobson and help kind of look in that long-term planning.
Jeff, this is all very good information. Is there anything else you can share with the citizens that you think they need to know?
I think that pretty much covers everything. I'm looking forward to being involved in the community. I'm looking forward to leverage and working with the various community partners to really kind of create and build upon Dobson and the community and really help Surrey County as a whole. So I appreciate the opportunity for you all taking the time and meeting with me today.
You're welcome.
Thanks, sir.